Today we're going to review the OXO Pour-Over Brewer. We have a lid, a water reservoir, and a base. You set the base on top of the awesome Coffee Bean Queen coffee mug. You take the paper filter, number 2 filter, and I like to fold the paper over just because it fits more snugly into the brewer base. It doesn't pop up so much, so I just like it to fit in there snugly. I heat my water up, nice and snug. So I take my ground coffee I just ground and my 2 tablespoon scoop. I like to use the scoop that I got with my AeroPress because it's got a nice long handle and I just like it. So I'm going to be brewing 12 ounces. I'm going to use two tablespoon scoops. And then I always like to throw just a little tiny bit of bonus coffee in there just to make my brew just a little bit richer. Bonus. I shake the brewer just to have the coffee grounds settle a little bit. And you'll see here on my awesome grind chart that I've got it ground on medium fine for the OXO. I even marked that that's the OXO medium fine. And on my grinder, that grinder setting is 12. I like to keep that handy so I know what to use on all my different brewing methods because I change all the time. Almost daily, like I change my shoes. I set the water reservoir on top of the brewer. Wait for the water to get hot. Water's all hot, and I'm going to wait maybe 15 seconds or so, 20 seconds, to get the water to cool down just a tad bit. I don't let it sit quite as long as I would if I was going to pour it directly on the coffee because the water reservoir is going to cool off the water just slightly. So I want to put it in a little hotter than I normally do. I'm going to fill the water reservoir up to the 12 mark because that's how much coffee I used. Set the lid on the top and I wanted to time it to see how long it would take. And it ends up taking about 2 minutes. Put the lid on because it keeps the water hotter. It doesn't cool down as much. You'll see here that the coffee is still expanding and that it's the water's being distributed evenly over the coffee grinds. Hasn't quite finished yet, so I'm just going to put the lid back on. Wait just another second. Dying for my coffee. Alright, looks like it's pretty much done. So you'll notice that there's little holes evenly distributed on the bottom of the reservoir. That is so that it can hit all the coffee grounds in the brewer evenly. And you'll notice here that it doesn't touch the paper filter on the side, so it reduces the papery flavor of the coffee. It works pretty well. Part of me kind of wishes it was a little bit closer to the sides because when I do my pour over, I do pour it a little closer to the sides, but the coffee still turns out great. I just simply remove the filter, head over to the trash can with the little drip tray, when actually I probably could have used the whole brewer over the drip tray because it actually fits just perfectly. Look at that. Nice. Perfectly brewed cup of coffee in my Coffee Bean Queen cup.
And I am reviewing the OXO Brew single serve pour over coffee maker. Now I own 3 of these, if I'm being honest. We enjoy this so much that we purchased one for our camper and we each have one here so we can make our coffee in the morning. So on each side of this it is listed in cups and then in milliliters, so whichever way you would like to use it. And you pour in your boiling water over top So this is a pour over coffee method. And then the cup down at the bottom there, you fill with the amount of coffee, and they do give you a chart for you to follow. At this point, I know exactly how much coffee to put in, and I have a scoop that gets it perfectly, but that is something that you'll have to play with when you get it. And I'm able to pour mine into an even larger cup. This says it only goes up to 12 ounces, but I make much more than 12 ounces in mine. So they give you this little lid. It kind of helps to keep the water warmer, and then when you take it off, you put that lid on the bottom and set it on there so that it is not dripping coffee all over the place. And here's just a close-up of how many ounces you are going to get, and then the other side will tell us how many milliliters. As you can see, it does not come out quickly, which is exactly what you need for a pour over coffee. And for something that is relatively cheap, I would continue to buy these. I put them in the dishwasher from time to time, and they come out beautiful. I do have a reusable filter in there that I purchased separately. I'm giving this 2 thumbs up.
So this is that, and all those little floating bits. And this is my like silicone basic collapsible thing for camping. None of that is happening. Yep.